What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host, Alex Wilson, and I'm sure you've all seen them by now, the New York Giants' new Century Red uniforms. They are throwback jerseys that they're going to be wearing up to 2 times this upcoming season to celebrate the 100th year of the New York Giants franchise. They're red, they look like rugby sweaters, they're very reminiscent of the Montreal Canadiens and the NHL. And a lot of fans seem to think that they are very, very ugly, and I think that Alex and I are included in that bunch. I do not like the pants on these Giants uniforms. I don't even hate the jerseys that badly, but these tan, like cream pants really ruin the whole thing for me. But the Giants are going for it, man. They're going big swing for the throwback uniforms for the 100th season, throwing it back to 1925. It's an interesting take on the Giants' old school uniforms reimagined. We're going to go ahead, react to that, discuss how we feel about it, and also dive into the Giants' schedule. That also dropped last night. Some key takeaways from it. Giants have favorable weeks 1 through 2, 3 through 8, however, very difficult, and a few primetime matchups as well that we want to discuss. Some intriguing stuff there going on with the New York Giants. But before we dive into all that, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you listen to Apple or Spotify, please make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, Alex, how are you doing today, my friend, and how are you feeling about the Giants' new Century Red uniforms?
Well, I had to crack out my red shirt for this one. They are something. And there are a lot of people out there I know in the comments, and I'll tell you this. A lot of people are like, they're paying homage or whatever to the, 1925 Giants. I know the helmets from, the 1933 team and the jerseys from, the 1926. They're kind of mixed and matched to find the right look they were looking for. But they kind of just look stupid in them. And I get it. It's vintage. It's cool because it was 100 years ago and, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate that fact. But that's not to say they didn't look stupid 100 years ago too. They look stupid then. It's stupid now. If you think they're cool and you like them, it's all credit to you. I have no hate against you guys whatsoever. The pants color really annoyed me. The cream. We've already seen another team do this. I want to say it was the Chiefs, and all of their offensive linemen looked like they were butt naked running around the football field. This is going to be funny because not only do we have the wildest color schemes right now on the top half, but we're going to look like butt naked, sweaty butt naked dudes running around the football field from that angle, and that's what it's going to look like, and it's going to be a meme, and I am willing to guarantee it right now. I'm going to take a picture of it when it happens and be like, this is exactly what I was trying to say. It's going to be hilarious, and we're all going to make fun of it for many years to come, and maybe that'll be the best thing that comes of this. Funny jokes and smiles and laughter, and honestly, that's the best we can hope for at this point. But look, they were kind of, I saw a video of Jalen Hyatt and Kayvon Thibodeau kind of having the jersey on, and they were laughing. Jalen Hyatt was making fun of Kayvon Thibodeau, and I was like, yeah, they don't like this. They clearly think this is kind of funny. And look, I get it's like a century kind of uniform. They're bringing back the old stuff. But there had to be something a little bit better than this, right? Red pants would have looked really cool. Even white pants would have looked better. It could have been a color rush concept, having more bright colors, and just replace the color rush jerseys with this, with a red or white uniform on the bottom. I would have liked that better. Now it looks like they're ready to play football on the top, and the bottom half looking like a 9-to-5 desk job with the cream pants, looking like khakis. It's kind of funny to me. Whatever, it's fun, creative. It doesn't really matter. I just want to win football games at the end of the day, and that'll kind of segue us into the schedule. Which again, I don't really care about the schedule. I just want to win football games, and we'll talk about the schedule because of the matchups and the difficult kind of stretches the Giants do have to go through, especially kind of early on in the season. Last year they had one of the hardest schedules in football. This year it's not easy. It's another pretty difficult schedule. I mean, the Vikings are no joke. They have a good team. Dallas, Philadelphia. Then you have in Germany, against the Panthers, and then you have Dallas again. The Falcons are going to be good this year with Kirk Cousins and some really good talent. Washington's going to be no pushover. Seattle. We'll break it down for you guys, Anthony. But I'll let you get started if you have anything else to say about the jerseys. And again, I want to say to anyone that likes it, that's totally cool. I just think it looks kind of funny. And obviously, respect your opinions as always.
No, if you don't like it, I hate you. I'm just kidding. I don't even hate them. I don't think they're that ugly. I just think the pants are that ugly. That's really the main takeaway that I want you guys to get from my opinion on this. I don't even hate the jerseys that badly. They're okay. The helmets are kind of cool. Having the winged helmets is a cool throwback to, to pay homage to the history of the Giants. And I like that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to pay homage to the history of this team. 100 years, that's no small accomplishment. It's a big deal. And I'm glad that they're doing some things to celebrate it. It's just those pants. I just don't like the pants. They throw off the whole look. I don't like when pants don't match jerseys or helmets don't match jerseys. That's always been my gripe with the navy on top of the royal blue for the Giants' other throwbacks. I just like things to match, and the tan does not match. If they were white, even if they were blue, that might have been cool, or red, just something other than tan. The tan is just super random, but again, it doesn't really matter. We are just talking about jerseys. We're not talking about the actual team itself. The Giants are going to lose games whether they're looking like the coolest team in the league or the ugliest team in the league. It doesn't matter. They're still going to lose games, and they're still hopefully going to win games. But that's a good way to move into the conversation about the schedule. Again, last point though, if you guys like the jerseys, all power to you. I just don't like the pants. The jerseys are alright. Maybe I'll even pick one up if I'm feeling spicy enough during the regular season. But moving into the schedule, probably not, Alex. I see your face. I probably won't, but maybe. Moving into the schedule though, starting off in week 1 versus Minnesota, week 2 versus the Washington Commanders. Right off the bat, I will say, great way to start the season against rookie quarterbacks. If you look at the history of rookie quarterbacks, they have a combined losing record. I think their winning percentage is like .35 for rookie quarterbacks in the first 5 weeks of their season as starters over the last 10 years. Or something like that. Don't quote me on that. That was a paraphrase of a stat that I heard, but it's not 100% sure. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is weeks 1 and 2, going off against J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings and Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. Very favorable matchups right there. The Giants need to pick up 2 wins to start their season. Like, they have to beat Minnesota. They have to beat Washington. No excuses. Those are rookie quarterbacks. Got to beat those 2 teams before you move into a really tough stretch from weeks 3 through 8. But Alex, I'll kind of let you get your take on that. The fact that the Giants are facing the Vikings and the Commanders, rookie quarterbacks, favorable opponents. Like, the Vikings are good, but you can exploit them. The Commanders, we beat them twice last year. Yeah, they got a lot better this offseason, but again, rookie quarterback, not the best team in the world. I imagine you feel the same way as me, that those are winnable games for the Giants, and in some ways, because of the rest of their schedule, they're also must-win games for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to kind of look at these games, like I'll go quickly through them. Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Vikings, it's going to be not an easy game. He's going to send the house against Daniel Jones on week 1, given he's starting then. That'll be a tough one. I know we'll see J.J. McCarthy, the guy that we missed out on. We'll see how he fares against this Giants defense and if he can capitalize and maybe make us regret it. Obviously, looking at Dallas, Dak Prescott in a contract year, like he's going to ball. Like, as long as he is healthy, Dak Prescott is going to ball. They added more talent to the offensive line. They still have CeeDee Lamb. They still have a very good receiver core. Like, they're going to be a good football team this year, especially with Trayvon Diggs returning from the ACL tear. So Dallas, Thursday Night Football, 26th of September. The 20, yeah. So week 4, actually. I don't know why they do this, dude. Why does it go week 1, week 2, week 3, like horizontal, and then it goes like it should just be vertical? Like, do you read I was reading the schedule totally off this whole time. I was reading it like up to down and like kind of 3 rows instead of across. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else saw that or like realized that they were reading it wrong too, but maybe that's just me. So the Vikings, obviously Washington, as you mentioned, Jaden Daniels, that's my guy. It's going to be hurtful, like actually painful to watch Jaden Daniels. He's looked so good over the little videos I've watched from him. Obviously just kind of throwing the football around, but dude's awesome. Love him. That's going to be a tough one for the Giants, I do believe. Washington's no pushover anymore. They have some really good players. They added Austin Eckler, obviously Jaden Daniels, some good defensive pieces. They're going to be a more competitive team. And then you got the Browns with Deshaun Watson or Joe Flacco or whoever the hell's playing quarterback for them. They have an elite defense. Obviously Nick Chubb will probably be back, maybe be back. I know he tore his knee to shreds. I'm not sure what his timeline is. But obviously they're still a very, very good playoff caliber team. Not an easy game at all. Then you have Dallas Thursday Night Football on the 26th. And the Giants between the Browns. This is actually nuts to me, dude. The Giants have a game 4 days after their game on the 22nd. They have a game the 22nd and then 4 days later against Dallas. And that Browns and Dallas, those matchups are tough, man. That's going to be really difficult to come back from. Then you have Seattle on the 6th. You have 10 days off there, which is nice. A 4:25 game. Seattle with Geno Smith, obviously DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Like, they have a good team objectively. Kenneth Walker, like they're a solid team. Then the Bengals, who they have your guy Jermaine Burton, and then a healthy Joe Burrow, and Joe Mixon isn't there anymore, but they have some more talent there at running back, and we'll see what happens with T. Higgins, but Tyler Boyd's gone. Jamar Chase is there. Like, they have a pretty solid team still. Like, Bengals are going to be a playoff team, probably a championship contender. And then the Eagles, who are just ridiculous drafting team, getting better every single year, maintained all of their talent somehow, gave out a couple of big contracts, and added Saquon freaking Barkley. That's going to be a really, really difficult one. 1 p.m. game, week 7. Then the Steelers are going to be really good probably this year with Russell Wilson. They have a good defense, good offense. George Pickens, and added some more talent there on offense as well. Washington again. The Panthers, we'll see if Bryce Young takes a step forward. Buccaneers under the leadership of Baker Mayfield have been a lot better than we would have expected. So he got a nice little contract for himself there. Cowboys again. The Saints, usually pretty average. The Saints are really depends on how Derek Carr is playing on any given day. Then you have Lamar Jackson. Then you have Kirk Cousins. Then you have the Colts with Anthony Richardson, who I think is going to have a good year coming back from that injury. And then you have the Eagles in week 18. This is a tough schedule, dude. You look at this. I mean, every single one of these games, you're going to have to play disciplined, good football. Like, aside from maybe the Panthers in Germany, this schedule is not easy. Like, not easy at all. I don't know how you feel about this, but I really do think that this is going to be a grind for the Giants. They're going to have to beat good teams every week, and that's what I want to see from us. I don't want to see us coasting through crappy teams like the Patriots and the Washington Commanders last year to slide to the 6th overall pick. And I want to see us win against good teams. Like, that is what good teams do. This is going to be a tough schedule, tough opponents. And I think the Giants are going to have to step up, and we've been waiting for them to do that for a long time. Daniel Jones, this is your chance, man. Good competition, good teams every single week. You gotta rise to the occasion and play good football. So, what are you thinking about this schedule so far?
I mean, it's a tough one for sure. Breaking down some of the other takeaways that I wanted to get into, the primetime games. The Giants are on primetime 3 times, which isn't a great number by any means. However, when you look at the rest of their games, they actually have 5 nationally televised games. They have 3 on primetime against, like I said, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Dallas Cowboys on a Thursday night game. Fun fact, they play the Cowboys twice on Thursday this year. They don't play them on Sundays or Mondays. They play them twice on Thursday, which I think is kind of funny. But that leads me into this larger point where the Giants have 5 nationally televised games. They have the 3 primetimes, but they also have the game in Germany against the Panthers, and they have the game against Dallas on Thanksgiving. So 5 total games on the national spotlight, which is surprising to me. Alex, how do you feel about that? The fact that the Giants, despite how bad they were last year, still the NFL is favoring them. New York media market, big spotlight on the team. Regardless of how good or bad we are playing 5 games on the national spotlight. Do you think that's going to be a mistake by the NFL? Or are those going to be unwatchable games? Or are you excited for the Giants to be continuously thrust into the spotlight?
Well, I know another team that has 6 primetime games, I think the most ever, and it's the New York Jets. The Jets deserve to be in 6 primetime games. They deserve to be. Aaron Rodgers, that elite defense, adding, even more offensive firepower in Mike Williams. And, you look at what they have, it's okay, yeah, I get why they're in the primetime. The Giants, it's I don't really get why the Giants are in primetime again. They just love watching. Everyone loves watching the Giants get absolutely rocked in primetime. Now, I hope to the God, if there's a God, please let the Giants be competitive in these games. You know what I mean? It's really difficult to sit here as a Giants fan and just remember all the primetime games getting blown out by the Eagles, blown out by Dallas, blown out by anyone that we really face that's competitive. Thanksgiving against Dallas, we just get obliterated, in Arlington. It's sad, man. At what point do we turn the page and play well against good teams? And when you're playing primetime games, you're playing against good freaking teams every year. And I think the league knows this. They put the Giants in primetime games for a couple reasons. One, Giants fans tune the hell in, and there's more Giants fans than most other fan bases, right? So they know the ratings are going to be fantastic because all the Giants fans are tuned in for the primetime games. 2, the Giants have a lot to figure out. What is Daniel Jones going to be? What is their new superstar Malik Neighbors? What is he going to do? Is their defense going to step up? They have a really, really good defensive line now. 3, how are Brian Dable and the coaching staff going to fare, right? Like, is this Brian Dable's last opportunity to save face and turn this thing around? Is Mike Kafka on the fence? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different narratives building about this team, about this roster, about this coaching staff. There's a lot of fun stuff to follow if you're just an NFL casual fan, or if you're a Giants fan waiting to see what the future of this organization looks like. So things could be really good, things could be really bad, things could be exactly how we expect them to be, which is like, you know, you never really know what the Giants could be, great or terrible on any given day. So I think there's just a lot of like, you know, storylines, and I think that's just generally good for prime time. It's just like the Jets. But, like, it just sucks to be in primetime knowing that we don't really stand a chance against some of those better teams. You know, against teams, you know, like Dallas or Eagles when they're playing at the top of their game. Like, we really can't survive against some of them. You know, like, I don't know, who else is on here? Baltimore that'll be a really tough one. They now have Derrick Henry. You know, like the Bengals when Joe Burrow and you know Jamar Chase are connecting. Even the Falcons are going to be a pretty solid team this year. So, you know, we'll see what games are prime time. I think we have most of them already. So it's Bengals, it's Dallas, the Steelers. That'll be an interesting one. I think you know, you got Thanksgiving, and then I guess they consider the European one a primetime game. It's a 9:30 a.m. start time.
It's not a primetime game, but it is nationally televised. So that was the point that I was making. We're in primetime 3 times, and we have 2 additional nationally televised games, the Thanksgiving one and the Germany one.
Yeah. That's it'll be tough, man. You know, the Giants got to step up and actually compete in some of these games because it's been too frequent that we just get blown out in these ones against competitive opponents. I'm kind of tired of watching it, to be honest, on the national scale.
Yeah, me too. Thankfully, the Panthers on the national scale, that should be a winnable game for the Giants. The Brian Burns revenge game, I think that's a fun storyline going into that one. And also just the fact that the Giants will be playing that in Germany, expanding the fan base. I think that's great for the NFL and great for the New York Giants and the Carolina Panthers for what it's worth. Another one, though, I think is super random. I don't know why the Giants are playing the Cincinnati Bengals on primetime. That just feels out of left field. Like, why Giants versus Bengals on Sunday Night Football? That feels like one that could just be an absolute dud. Like, it's Sunday night and you're hyped and you're ready for some football, and the Bengals absolutely beat up on the Giants. That seems like something that could happen. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully the Giants are competitive. But overall, it's a really tough schedule. They face some of the toughest defenses in the NFL. Of course, the Cowboys defense ranked top 5 last year. So did the Ravens. So did the Browns. And so did the Panthers. So the Giants offense that was historically bad last year is facing off against a few of the top defenses in the NFL. And that's not just those few names that I mentioned. There's other teams as well on the schedule. Good defenses across the board. This is not going to be an easy schedule. It's going to be a very tough year for the Giants, and they're going to have to grind out some wins if they want to earn them. So it's going to be probably a long year, but like I said, getting off to a good start in weeks 1 and 2 versus rookie quarterbacks, one of those games being a divisional game, that's going to be the key. If the Giants could start their season off 2-0 and then hopefully steal some wins down the stretch, maybe they will be competitive and they will have a chance at the playoffs. Who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones does take the coveted year 6 leap and play better this upcoming season. Totally possible. Nothing is impossible, so we can't rule anything out, as we know as Giants fans. But Alex, how are you feeling about it? I guess before we wrap this thing up, not too much really to dive into on a schedule, release, and reaction. What are you thinking about this record? If you want to do an early prediction, if you want to try and throw a number out there of wins that you think the Giants are going to get, how are you feeling about it? If you're not ready to make the prediction and you don't think that's the right thing to do in May, probably isn't, because we don't even know what the starting lineup is going to look like until we get to training camp. But for a way too early prediction, how are you feeling right now for the Giants?
If I had to give you an early prediction right now, I'd probably say 8-9, 7-10, something in that range. I just don't know how he compete. I don't even know, like, is Daniel Jones going to survive the season? Is he going to play well? Is he going to be healthy enough? Is he going to be able to run? Like, I don't know anything about what Daniel Jones is going to offer us this year. So, like, I can't sit here and tell you, like, this team is going to win more than 7 or 8 games. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if we won like 6 or 7 games this year. Obviously, I'm hoping for more. I'm hoping for a much better season. And this team has to perform a lot better. But this schedule is tough, man. It's not an easy schedule. I don't think the Commanders are pushovers anymore. That was a free 2 wins every season for the most part. I don't think that we're going to get those free 2 wins the way that we used to. You know, even Minnesota with JJ McCarthy, like, they may not score a ton of points, but like they can ball. Like, it's not going to be easy to stifle them. And, you know, I just don't know, like let's say we beat the Vikings and we beat Washington. I don't think we beat the Browns. I don't think we beat Dallas. I don't think we beat Seattle. I don't think we beat the Bengals. I don't think we beat the Eagles. I don't think we beat the Steelers. Let's give us 2 Washington wins again just for giggles. Give me like the Panthers win, I guess. So we're at 4 wins now. I think we lose to the Bucks. Like, I just don't see like a lot of wins in this unless there's injuries and stuff like that. I know I'm being a little pessimistic and negative, but I'm also just trying to be realistic because we've gone down this path before of like 10, 11 wins and we had like 3 wins. You know what I mean? So like 6, 7 wins is probably where I land. Best case scenario, I see like 8 or 9 wins. And that's if like we really perform well and ball out. So what are you thinking? Because I'm trying to be realistic, but also I want to be optimistic. But I'm just so battered and bruised from the past years of failure.
Yeah, my objective, totally taking bias out of the equation. I think this is a 5-1 schedule. But again, who knows? Because there were a lot of Giants fans who felt that way going into 2022. They squeaked away with 9 wins and they made the playoffs and they won a playoff game. So you really don't know. No matter what I predict here, it's not going to make a difference on the actual regular season. I could say the Giants are winning 12 games and they might win 2. I could say they're going to win 2 and they might win 12. If I had to guess, though, I will say I think it's in the 5 to 7 range. But again, this roster did improve quite a bit across the board on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. So maybe those improvements pay off, and this roster is upgraded enough to win up to 8 to 10 games. I would love to see that happen. I want to see the Giants playing playoff football again. I don't really believe in the mantra that if you're not picking in the top 5 or if you're not making the playoffs, you need to be picking in the top 5. I don't agree with that. I think that we've seen most of the quarterbacks in the NFL, if you want to get into draft talk this early, most of the quarterbacks in the NFL were acquired via trade anyway, the top quarterbacks, whether you're talking trade ups or Rodgers getting traded to the Jets, whatever. So Stafford to the Rams, Goff to the Lions, all that stuff. So the Giants just need to focus on playing football this year. Anybody that talks about the schedule and about tanking all the way early in May, you're way too far ahead of yourself. Let's just look forward to this football season and hope that the New York Giants surprise us and become a playoff team and win some games, because at the end of the day, you got to be a good team before you can be a great team. And so the Giants need to start taking steps forward to becoming a good team. So being competitive, squeaking out 8 wins against a really tough schedule. Maybe they push up to 10 wins because their roster is better. That's what we need to see. If not, maybe we're talking about a rebuild next year, but way too early to get into that conversation. Right now, just looking ahead to this upcoming summer of practices and moving into the regular season. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, any news that breaks on the New York Giants, any content regarding training camp, OTAs, minicamp, all of that stuff, any news, rumors, speculation, info, content, all right here on Fireside Giants. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell so you don't miss the episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you listen to Apple or Spotify, please make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, we'll catch you all on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go Giants.
Perfect.